Oh hey guys, this is Anthony here. This is George. And this is Pia. And Alan's in the restroom right now, but this is friction.
Now what is friction? Friction is the type of force that affects objects in motion. Why does friction occur? Because of surface irregularities. Compare a hard wooden surface to a canvas-like texture. If you rub them together, there's going to be friction. Now there are 5 types of friction. Forced surface friction, which is static, sliding, rolling, and fluid friction. And there's also air resistance. And we're going to show you how those work. The first 2 types of friction are static friction and sliding friction. Static friction occurs between 2 non-moving objects, or objects at rest. Sliding friction occurs between a moving object on a still surface. This can be demonstrated through a wooden block and a spring scale. First, I'll demonstrate on a smooth surface like a table. I'll pull slightly until right before the wooden block moves. In doing so, the spring scale indicates about 0.3 newtons of force. The block has 0.3 newtons of force just on the surface of the table alone. That is its static friction. Now pulling the spring scale until the block slides, the spring scale indicates that it takes 0.4 newtons of force to move the block across the table. That is its sliding friction. If this was done on carpet, the spring scale would indicate a much higher force for both sliding and static friction. The reason being that the carpet has a more bumpier texture than the smooth surface of the table.
Another example for static friction is a blacktop and some black cakes.
Aside. Another example of sliding friction is warming up your hands to slap someone, like Alan. Shh. The second type of friction is rolling friction. Rolling friction, also known as rolling resistance, is the force resisting when a round body such as a ball or a tire rolls on a surface. It is mainly caused by the non-elastic effects needed for the deformation of the ball or tire, such as this tape. For example, when rolling this tape on this table, a small resistant force is acting upon the tape, pushing it towards the opposite direction. Why do I say small resistance, you ask? Well, it's because the table has a smooth surface, meaning less surface deformation, causing less friction on the tape, so compared to a surface such as a carpet or the street surface. The reason the tape stopped is because the force from the table is pushing the tape the opposite direction the tape is rolling, and that is rolling friction.
The third is fluid resistance. Fluid resistance happens when an object passes through a liquid. As the object passes through a liquid, it moves aside all the liquid's molecules. An example of this is a sinking penny. As the penny sinks to the bottom, it moves aside all the water's molecules. Another example of this is my bright little brother's Gravedigger monster truck. And this is fluid resistance.
Hello, well, I'm going to explain the 4th type of friction, which is air resistance. Air resistance is a friction or a drag that acts upon an object that moves through the air. The reason why objects fall to the ground is because the pull of gravity of the earth. And to show you a demonstration of this pull of gravity, or just example. So when I drop this piece of paper, it's going to move down slowly. The reason why it moves down so slow is the surface area of the piece of paper is so wide that when I drop it, the air resistance of the paper, the air actually pushes up against the paper, which makes it go slower down to the ground. So now I'm gonna show you an example by crumpling up this piece of paper, crumpling it to a piece of ball. Once I drop this ball, it'll move straight down. The reason why this crumpled piece of paper drops so fast is due to the less surface area of the object, which means less air resistance is is pushed upon this object. And that, to you guys, is air resistance.
So, just to recap, static friction occurs between two non-moving objects. Sliding friction occurs between a moving object on a still surface.
And rolling friction occurs with rolling objects.
Fluid resistance is when an object passes through a liquid. As it passes through the liquid, it moves aside all the liquid's molecules.
Air resistance is a friction on an object in air.
Hey Alan, you want to see another example of air resistance?
Yeah, sure, what is it?
A hand to your face.
Oh, George! Why'd you do that? Oh, my face! What's wrong with you? What'd you do?
For the sake of physics.
Okay, y'all ready? Oh, I'm nervous. I'm so nervous. I forgot what to say.
Dude, it's recording.
We got it out, right?
Yes. Why does it occur? Because of the object surface. Compare a soft, it's not soft.
We were doing so good.
I know I was.
Rolling friction, also known as rolling resistance, is the force resistant. Do it again, sorry, I messed up. I'm really nervous.